It's hard to beat the flavor that a pellet grill provides. From smoked chicken to a juicy tender brisket, a pellet grill like a Traeger can up-level your backyard cooking game. But the Traeger isn't just for cooking meat. You can cook just about anything in it. And today I'm going to show you how to cook an entire meal from appetizer, main dish, side dish, and dessert. We're going to get to cooking. We love Traeger. We have been loyal fans for over 10 years and we cook with it all the time, even through the snow in our Central Oregon weather. So we were excited when Traeger reached out to us to see if we wanted to try one of their latest models, the Ironwood 885. We love the idea of having a smart pellet grill with the Wi-Fi technology so that we can monitor our cooks and our grills right from our phone. And since our older Traeger was only a few years old, we decided to donate that to our local Little League so that they can use it to grill burgers during their Snack Shack sales. What I love about Traeger is that it makes it simple to get that wood flavored cooking right from your home just in a simple pellet grill. And with this new Ironwood model with the Wi-Fi technology, it makes it even easier to cook from because you can control everything from your phone. Plus it has thousands of recipes to choose from. It has turbo temp so that your grill heats up faster compared to the other models, which is great for when you're cooking multiple recipes in the same day like we're doing today. And it has a pellet sensor to alert me when my pellets are getting low, so I never really run out because it's going to send an alert to my phone. We're going to get started on our first recipe for today, which is the appetizer, the smoked jalapeno poppers. Now these aren't just a regular jalapeno popper. We're actually going to add a little secret ingredient inside, which is a little smoky beef sausage. Sounds crazy, but believe me, you will never want to have a regular jalapeno popper again once you try these ones. To start, I'm going to preheat my Traeger grill to 300 degrees. And while that's heating, even though it doesn't take very long, we're going to make up our jalapeno poppers. So I have around 10 to 12 jalapenos. Now I'm going to slice mine in half and take out the ribs and the seeds because that's the hot part. I don't want them to be too hot or spicy. If you love spicy jalapeno poppers, then leave those in. You have the option too of slicing them in half, or you could just leave your jalapeno whole and just scrape out the inside of the seeds and the ribs and stuff your cream cheese and little smoky sausage in there. But I'm going to be slicing them in half. After I've rinsed them in the sink, now I'm going to stuff them with a little bit of cream cheese. So each little half slice of jalapeno will get like around a tablespoon or two of cream cheese. And then top with our little smoky beef sausage. Now, if you're looking for more of a clean version of this little smoky, I mean, these are readily available at the grocery store, but there are some brands that have a more clean, low-carb version of a little smoky, and I'll have that listed down below for you in the description box. After that, we're gonna wrap it with a half a slice of bacon. You could do a full slice if you wanted, but I wanted my bacon to last for all of these jalapeno poppers. So wrap it with that slice of bacon and then just insert a toothpick to hold everything together. I'm going to place these on a foil-lined baking tray, and then into the Traeger they go. The key to cooking these perfectly is to cook them for a long period of time. So it'll take anywhere between like an hour and a half to 2 hours. You just kind of have to keep an eye on it, and once the jalapeno starts to look softened, then it's ready. But the longer you cook them, the less spicy they will be. These make the perfect appetizer, and believe me, they disappear fast whenever you serve them. Like if you went to a potluck or a backyard barbecue, they will disappear super fast. While my bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers are cooking, I'm gonna be working on my meatloaf. So this is gonna be a low carb meatloaf that we're just gonna cook on our Traeger grill. Yes, we're not just doing typical meats that you could cook on your Traeger. I wanted to show you that you could really cook anything. So we're gonna be making meatloaf. So in a large bowl, I'm gonna add a pound of ground beef and a pound of ground sausage or pork. Since this is a low-carb, keto-approved meatloaf, we're going to be using ground pork rinds to substitute for our breadcrumbs. So you'll need 2 cups of ground pork rinds, or pork panko it's also called. I'll have my favorite brand listed down below in the description box for you. You'll also need 1/3 cup of diced onions. This will provide moisture for your meatloaf. 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. 1 egg to help bind everything together. 1/4 cup of chopped parsley. 2 cloves of garlic, or I'm just using 2 teaspoons of garlic paste, 2 teaspoons of salt, and a teaspoon of pepper. Mix this together with a spoon, or you can use your hands. And then we're gonna mold this into a loaf shape, and I'm just putting it on a foil lined tray for now, but when I cook it on the Traeger, I will put it on either a wire grill, or if you have like a grill tray with some holes underneath, just to allow for that heat to get on the underside and so the fat can drip down as well. Since my jalapeno poppers weren't quite ready to come off the grill, I decided to take advantage of the 2 baking trays on the Ironwood 885 model and move my poppers up on top, and I'm sliding my meatloaf down onto the bottom. Ideally, I want my meatloaf to cook at a temperature of 225 degrees. So I actually am gonna lower that down to that. It's okay if those poppers get lower to that temperature as well. It's not gonna hurt them. They will just take a little bit longer to cook. The meatloaf will take around 2.5 hours to cook. You just wanna cook it until the internal temperature gets to 160 degrees, which is great because this Traeger has a meat probe in it that attaches directly to the device, and that will monitor onto your phone when it has reached that temperature. While my meatloaf is cooking on the Traeger, I'm going to be making up our side dish, which is grilled vegetables. And since it's summertime, we have a bunch of different vegetables that we can choose from. So I'm going to use like zucchini, summer squash, onion, cherry tomato, just whatever you have available. Chop it up, rub it with some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and then I'm going to make a tasty vinaigrette to put on top. This recipe, I got the idea from the Traeger website. Like I said, there are a bunch of different recipes on there that you can browse through and look through, and this one is delicious. I modified it just a little bit just to adjust for what I had on hand and to make it more low carb, keto friendly. So this Dijon lemon vinaigrette that's gonna go on there, I'm gonna make that up right now as well. So in a mason jar, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1 clove of garlic minced up, or you could use 1 teaspoon of garlic paste, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of sweetener. You can use monk fruit, honey, maple syrup if you're not keto, whatever sweetener you want to use. Since I'm making this low carb, I'm using a monk fruit blend sweetener. We're gonna whisk that together and then add in a 1/2 cup of olive oil. Give your dressing a good shake and then set it aside. You want to make this up ahead of time just to allow for all those flavors to meld together so it tastes a lot better when you drizzle it on your grilled vegetables once they're finished. Now that my meatloaf is finished, it's out of the Traeger, you can set it aside, and then we'll quickly move on to grilling our vegetables. The meatloaf too, if you wanted to add a sauce to it, like a tomato-based or a barbecue sauce on top, that would be great. It would add some additional flavor. I just kind of kept it real simple. To grill up my vegetables on the Traeger, I'm gonna be grilling them in a grill basket. So these are available all over. There's different models, different kinds. I'll have the one that I'm using listed down below in the description box if I can find it. But we're gonna grill these on a high temperature. This will be at 500 degrees. So move your Traeger up to 500 degrees and preheat your grill basket. Once your Traeger is preheated, we're gonna add on our vegetables into our basket and let them cook for around 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, come back, give them a good stir just to mix it up so we get even cooking, and we're gonna cook for another 5 to 10 minutes. Add these to your serving dish and then drizzle on that lemon Dijon vinaigrette on top. Toss it around just to mix up that vinaigrette, and dinner's ready. You have your appetizer, your meatloaf, your side dish, so you can enjoy that right now. The last thing we're gonna make on our Traeger is a dessert, and I'm gonna show you how to make a low-carb raspberry crumble. This is perfect for summertime. You can top it with some low-carb or sugar-free ice cream or some whipped cream. It is delicious, and it is excellent served hot. While I'm making this up, I'm gonna preheat my Traeger to 350 degrees because, Traeger is just like, it's a big oven too, so really you could bake things in it. In a small bowl, I'm gonna add 3 cups of fresh raspberries, along with a teaspoon of xanthan gum, and a 1/3 cup of sweetener. I'm gonna be using a monk fruit blend sweetener. Mix that together and then set it aside, and we're gonna move on to our crumble part. I'm gonna use a food processor for this just because I want to be able to mix things up completely, and we're gonna cut in some cold butter. So in a food processor, you're gonna add 1.5 cups of almond flour, 1/4 cup of golden monk fruit blend sweetener, or erythritol, 1/4 cup of walnuts, 1/4 cup of pecans, 2 tablespoons of hemp hearts, and a pinch of salt. And then I'm gonna add 3/4 cups of unsalted cold butter that's cubed up, and then we're gonna pulse this together until it's combined and we get these crumbles. Next, we're gonna layer down our raspberries onto a cast iron skillet, and then just spoon your crumble mixture on top. We bake this in our Traeger at 350 degrees for around 30-35 minutes. So this is just a perfect recipe to make up right when dinner is done and you're letting your food digest, and it'll give you time just to visit before dessert happens. Once your raspberry crumble is done, like I said, you can dig in, top it with some creamy vanilla ice cream. It is so delicious, so perfect, and it's great for summer or even a fall dessert. I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are gonna make on your Traeger. If you have one, what is your favorite recipe that you like to make? Let us all know so we can learn.